Hello students, welcome back to the channel. In the first video, if you have seen it, I gave you just an outlook of the human digestive system. And in the second video, we discussed the structures which are present in our oral cavity. We studied that mouth leads into the oral cavity and oral cavity contain teeth and tongue. This much topic we covered in the second video. Now today we are going to complete the topic. Alimentary canal topic, we will be completing it. Now see, oral cavity will leads into the pharynx. And pharynx is a common area for both food and air. The pharynx is a common area for food and air because nasal cavity is also opening and buccal cavity is also opening there. The food pipe is known as esophagus and trachea is known as windpipe. So you can just make a note. Esophagus is known as food pipe and trachea is known as windpipe. They both are opening into the pharynx. One cartilaginous flap, that cartilaginous structure is present, that is known as epiglottis, which prevents the entry of food into the glottis. And glottis is the opening of the windpipe. Glottis opening of windpipe. So this glottis is closed by epiglottis, and we close this during the time of swallowing. So during swallowing, the food should pass only into the esophagus and should not enter into the windpipe. For this, one structure is there, epiglottis, which will close the glottis. For this, let me show you the diagram. See here, this is your mouth buccal cavity, okay? Just an imaginary diagram to make you learn. And this is the nasal cavity. Clear, beta? And these are the two. This is a common area. Now from here two pipes are coming. This is the windpipe. Windpipe is in front, which is known as trachea. And at the back, this is the food pipe, known as esophagus. So opening of the windpipe, you are having one structure present here. That is known as, this opening is known as glottis. And to close this glottis, you are having this structure that is known as epiglottis. Clear, beta? To close this structure is known as epiglottis. And this is the common area. I'm using this color. This is the common area where food and air is mixing. So this is your food, that is bolus, which is present. Because when you eat the food, it changes into the bolus, and this bolus has to be pushed into the food pipe. So when the bolus has to be pushed into the food pipe, that time this epiglottis should get closed. It should close which structure? It should close the glottis, so that food should not enter into the windpipe and swallowing can be done effectively and the food come into the esophagus. Because you know one thing, beta, you know this very well. Keep the air, see here, this is the pass of the air. The air will come from the external layer into the nasal passage, then internal layers, and finally it has to enter through this into the windpipe. So air and food both are mixing in which common area, beta? Now I hope you can tell me. This common area is known as pharynx. Air has to move into the trachea and food has to move into the esophagus. I hope this much labeling you are able to follow. Clear, beta? Now let us see here. Now esophagus is a thin, long tube which run posteriorly. Why we are saying posteriorly? Because obviously windpipe is in anterior side and this food pipe will be on the posterior side. It will pass through the neck, thorax and diaphragm, and it will open into the J-shaped bag-like structure that is called stomach. It open into the stomach. For this, let us study the diagram of NCRT. I'll just show you the diagram of NCRT. See here, beta. See, this is the esophagus. You can see esophagus is opening into the stomach, and the point where it is opening, here one sphincter is present, and this sphincter is known as gastroesophageal sphincter because it is present between the gastric gland and the esophagus. So this sphincter is known as gastroesophageal sphincter. You know very well, sphincters are always lined by circular muscles so that they can either open or they will be closed. When they are in the contraction, they will close, and when they are relaxing, they will be opening. So bolus, which is coming from the esophagus, will be entering into the cardiac region. If you see in the stomach, there are 4 regions are there. Cardiac region. Why we say cardiac region? Because it is near to the heart. Then is the body, which is the main area where the breakdown of the complex molecules will be taking place. This is the fundus area, which we say it is stored gas. And pyloric region is the one which is opening into the duodenum. So here also, where the pyloric region is opening into the duodenum, here you are finding a pyloric sphincter is present. Pyloric sphincter is present. So at the starting of the stomach, one sphincter is present, and at the end of the stomach also a sphincter is present. Clear, beta? Let us see the NCERT carefully. Now see here. A muscular sphincter. Which muscle, beta? Circular muscles. You have to remember which muscle? Circular muscles. Gastroesophageal will regulate the opening of esophagus into the stomach. Stomach is located where? It is located in the upper, not lower, please. It is located in the upper and in the left portion. Question area, please. It is not in the lower side. It is on the upper side and on the left side, not on the right side. Okay, of the abdominal cavity. It has got how many parts? 4 major parts. Cardiac portion. Why? Because it is close to the heart and into which the esophagus opens. So into the cardiac portion, esophagus open. Then is fundus region. Then is body. Body is the main central region. Clear, beta? The body is the main central region, and the last is pyloric region, which is opening into the first part of the small intestine. Now, opening of the stomach into the duodenum is also guarded by sphincter, which is sphincter, pyloric sphincter. So I think so I focused it. The pyloric sphincter is the one which is regulating the opening of stomach into the intestine. Clear, beta? Now, if you see, the small intestine has got how many parts? Small intestine, in the first video already we studied, it is actually 3 regions are there. Now, C-shaped duodenum. Middle portion, jejunum, and last is ileum. Now, focus the questions. If they ask you which is long-coiled, long-coiled is jejunum. And if they ask you which is highly coiled, then your answer will be ileum. Please, question is there which is long coiled and which is highly coiled. You have to please focus the NCERT carefully. Clear, beta? Now let us see the diagram of NCERT. See, this was mouth leading into the buccal cavity. Clear? This is the common area of pharynx. You can see this is the pharynx. Then you can see this is the trachea, which they are not labeling it because we are studying the digestion, so we are not focusing here. But this is the esophagus, which is opening into the stomach. Clear, beta? Esophagus opening into the stomach. This is the C-shaped structure. You can see this C-shaped structure is duodenum. Clear? And then this is long coiled jejunum and highly coiled ileum. These are the 3 parts of the small intestine. Clear, beta? Now see next. Ileum will open into, now ileum is the one which is opening into the large intestine. So ileum opens into the large intestine and it consists of cecum, colon and rectum. So it consists of cecum, colon and rectum. Please don't label anus as a part of a large intestine. Large intestine, 3 parts, cecum, colon, and rectum. Now question please. Cecum is a blind sac. It's a small blind sac. It's not large. It is a small blind sac. And it contains many symbiotic microorganisms. The student learn this way ki E. coli is Escherichia coli. So they think it is in the coli means it's present, might be in the colon. But no, please remember in the cecum, the microorganisms are living in which relationship? Symbiotic relationship. Finger-like, tube-like structure which is coming out from it, that is known as vermiform appendix, and it is a vestigial organ. In the 12th class, Human Health and Disease, you will be studying. It is a secondary lymphoid organ also. Clear, beta? Now, if you see it, colon, cecum will open into the colon, but colon is actually divided into 4 parts. The colon is divided into 4 parts. Which 4 parts? Ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, and sigmoid colon. Now, this will open, finally, it will open into the rectum. The last part is the rectum of the large intestine, which open out through the anus. Now, let us see the NCERT diagram, beta. See here. So if you see carefully, the part of the large intestine, first is this is cecum. You can see this is cecum, clear, which is hosting the large amount of the symbiotic microorganisms. And this is the small vermiform appendix is coming. I'll just rub it. Please try to highlight it carefully. This is vermiform appendix. Now, this part of the colon is ascending colon. Then you see this part is your transverse colon. Then down part is coming down, this one, down part is known as descending colon. Little bit curve is sigmoid colon, which open into the rectum, and rectum is a temporary storage organ for the fecal matter, which is out through the anus. So I think so if you see in this video, all the questions which are important, which I have tried to highlight it, please try to focus it. It will be helpful for you. Okay, beta? And alimentary canal in this video we have covered. In the next video, we'll be discussing about the histology of the alimentary canal. Clear, beta? So thanks for watching. I hope so this video is helpful for you. Thanks.